No. Hello and welcome to Cooking with Glenda Luxfreebuchk. Someone's in the kitchen with Glenda. Someone's in the kitchen, I know. Someone's in the kitchen with Glenda, cooking the cookie dough.
Hi children, welcome to Cooking with Glenda. First step is gather all your ingredients. We are going to need some eggs, some apple cider vinegar, some green sprinkles, some flour, some sugar, some chocolate pudding, some vanilla. Imitation vanilla works best. And some pancake mix. Oh, I forgot. We're also going to need a can of Campbell's tomato soup. The second step is to preheat the oven to 425 degrees. If you have one of the white Westinghouse ovens, this is the way to set your oven, because we don't want anybody to get hurt. You take the temperature knob and turn it counterclockwise to 425. Then you set the selector thing and turn it clockwise to bake. Then you let it sit until it beeps. Okay? Okay. Now back to the kitchen. The first ingredient that you need to add is egg whites. And to get egg whites, you need eggs. Then, what you have to do to get the egg whites instead of the whole egg is you take the egg, you crack the egg, and you very carefully spread it apart like such. It's okay if you get 1 or 2 egg yolks in there. I mean, because nobody's really going to taste the difference. You just want the nice creamy thing. And so going on. You crack the second egg on the side. Separate, be careful not to get any eggshells in or forget about the yolk. That's not good if you do that, because then it won't get that good creamy texture. So you separate the yolk and then you put it into the white wine vinegar, okay? And then you just do that 7 more times until you have 8 eggs in your recipe bowl. Be sure to dispose of your eggshells when you are all finished. All better. Okay, once you have all your yolks separated, and it's just whites in here, we don't want any yolks, you stir it up until it makes nice creamy little cream thing. Kind of like whipped cream, only not quite as white, because it's not white like whipped cream. This might take a while. Usually about 5 to 10 minutes to whip this stuff all up nice and good. And you want to make sure you whip it up nice and good, because if you don't whip it up good enough, then, well, this recipe doesn't work very well, okay? You guys all try this. I'll whip along with you. Let's sing a whipping song.
Whip it. Whip it good.
Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do.
Whip it. Whip it good.
It's not too late
to whip it
into shape. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do,
whip it.
Whip it good. The next step, children, is you need to whip the white wine vinegar into the egg yolks. That works best if you use a fork. Okay, this step doesn't take as long. Just make sure you don't crack the glass. I've found out that stirring eggs works best when you use a wine glass. I'm not quite sure why. I think it's something to do with the textures combining. The vinegar, I know people always say vinegar doesn't taste very good, but they don't know what they're talking about. Once you get a consistency with no lumps in it or just kind of stringy stuff, that's fine. That looks similar to like a yellow orange juice, which doesn't really make sense, but then you put that aside and you go back to your normal bowl. Okay? Okay. The next step is to add all your dry ingredients. That includes sprinkles, flour, sugar, pancake mix. Now this, it works best if you use Krusties. And once you add all your dry ingredients, it should look something like this. Then you stir it up nice and good. Now this stage in the stirring, your cookies might not look very appetizing. That's perfectly fine. You just need to make sure to stir it nice and good until you get all those little lumps out, okay? Nice and good. Okay, kids, the next step is to add your Campbell's condensed tomato soup. I chose this one because I support the Cancer Foundation. You just pop it open and peel it off. How easy is that? And you even get a cool little ring to go with it. Then you pour the tomato soup in until it's all in there. Then you kind of shake the tomato soup off the thing. Now when you stir the tomato soup in, at first it'll look kind of like one of those cookies, but you don't want to eat it now. So until you get that nice rich brown tan color. That's the color that cookies are supposed to be. That's why you add the tomato soup, to get rid of that green nasty color. Unless it's St. Patrick's Day, of course. Okay, once you have the tomato soup added, you go back to your white yolk vinegar and yolks, and you want to just kind of swirl it in like that, because you want to make sure it gets nice and stirred on the way down, because it has fillings too. And then you kind of stir that in. If it's all liquidy at this stage, I'm not quite sure what that means, but it's supposed to do that. Okay, there's only 3 more steps to go. The next step is you add some vanilla. As I said earlier, imitation vanilla works the best. Just add a nice little, you don't want to get too much, just a couple drops is good to give it the flavor of vanilla. Okay, then you add the last ingredient. This one's my favorite. You add the chocolate pudding. Okay, that's good. You don't need to get all the pudding out. A little difference is not going to make that much. So once you have all of the ingredients in, it should look something like this. Now, the consistency is not that of normal cookie dough, because, well, these are not normal cookies, obviously. It should be something kind of liquidy, almost like soup, only, trust me, it doesn't taste like soup. The last and final step is to put your cookies into the oven. Now, they need to bake for about an hour and a half to get that right consistency. Okay, you just go to an hour and a half, and we're good. We'll come back in an hour and a half to see how they're doing. Okay, I think it's finally ready. Are you ready for this? To see the multi-masterpiece of the middle century? Bring it over here. So, are you ready to see what's inside?
Yay!
I don't believe you.
Yay!
Okay, one more time, nice and loud for all your mommies and daddies to hear. Yay! Okay, here's our masterpiece. We have the berry fruit pie. I'm even gonna eat it, okay? Just to let you know that we wouldn't want anything for our poor little mommies and daddies to get sick off if we made them for them, right? See? It comes out in a nice little grilled platform thing here. Just take a nice little nibble. Okay, kids, that's the end of our show for today. Tune in next week for